Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and we are a little over a day from the MLB trade deadline. And we expect to get a lot of trades here with the New York Mets. And we're going to talk about one particular target for the Mets that's going to get moved, that possibly could get moved. But before we get into that video, I need you to subscribe and like this video. Very important. So, as you know, the Mets are in full sell mode. They have traded, about a month ago, they traded Eduardo Escobar, which I kind of thought that they kind of like showed their hand that they were preparing to sell. So he got skadooshed out of here. He went to Los Angeles. The Angels are in full buy mode. They're going crazy, trade for all kinds of players. They made a trade last night. They brought in Randall Krychek and C.J. Cron. As you know, Cron's been on the trading block for like 20 years. You know, he's been playing for like 5 years. But, so the Mets got rid of Escobar. On Thursday, they traded David Robertson, their temporary closer for this year, to the Miami Marlins. They picked up a couple prospects, one of which, Marco Vargas, is getting a lot of high praise from the media, basically saying that the Mets picked up a very good player, as well as they picked up Ronald Hernandez, a catcher. Also on Friday/Saturday, whatever you want to call it, the Mets made that humongous trade. Trade Max Scherzer for the third best prospect in the Texas Rangers organization, Luis Angel Acuna. And Acuna will be the Mets' future second baseman, center field, or outfield, or whatever they feel deemed that he's ready to play on a regular basis. I would mention I have a channel called the Prospect Hut, and the prospects that the Mets will receive in the future will have a highlighted video for them, because I've already done one for all the players that I've mentioned in this video. Also, as well as I've done a video on Acuna yesterday, and it's done really well. It's probably going to hit 1,000 views on it. So go in there and please subscribe. I'll put the link in the description for this video in the for you, and hopefully you subscribe to Prospect Hut. The channel's doing awesome. Now, we're going to talk about Justin Verlander. Verlander pitched yesterday. He's pitched really well over the last month. In fact, he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball in the past month. Well, that's great. Team has played poorly. Hasn't helped. But his value is much higher than Max Scherzer. And obviously, the Mets took a lot of money back, sent a lot of money to the Rangers, as well as with the ability to bring in a big prospect. I would expect that the Mets should be able to pick up some very good prospects for Justin Verlander, seeing how he's pitching much better and much more consistently, and actually pitching quite dominantly over the last month. Now, talk about the players momentarily. There is an issue. The money's an issue, obviously, even though the Dodgers have a lot of money to spend. The Mets will have to take up some of that contract. And the biggest obstacle is whether Justin wants to go there. And there are other teams mentioned. The Reds have been mentioned. I don't know if he'd want to go to Cincinnati. That's not exactly a big cosmopolitan place. No offense to anyone in Cincinnati. But, and Houston is not really interested. They want bullpen help. The Rangers weren't really talking about Verlander. But the Dodgers. Now, will Verlander want to go to Los Angeles, go all the way across the country, after he has said that he wants to be here in New York? Now, obviously, there are very similar opportunities for him and his wife there. That is not our problem going forward as Mets fans, by the way. Now, the Mets have been scouting the Dodgers. The Dodgers have been scouting the Mets, obviously. Now, what do the Dodgers have in their farm system? Well, they have one of the best farm systems in Major League Baseball. They have a top 5 farm system. They always have. And I've never heard a story where the Dodgers burned any team with a prospect. If anything, it's been the opposite over the years sometimes. They send a good prospect away, and that guy becomes a very good player or Hall of Famer. But I'm going to run down 4 names. I think 2 of these names could be coming to the Mets if the Mets do this kind of a trade. I'm very big in going through these prospect lists, as you can tell from the Prospect Hut. You want to subscribe to that. But there are 4 guys on this list that I think the Mets should consider. 2 of them are pitchers and 2 of them are positional players. 3 of them have been in the major leagues this year, and some of them might not have a place to play. First up, the number 2 best prospect in the Dodgers organization, his name is Michael Busch. He's 25 years old. He's a second baseman outfielder. He's got a very good hit tool. His hit tool is considered to be 50-55, according to MLB.com. Let me take a look here on the side here so I get a better idea, understand where he is as a hitter. His hit tool is 50, which is very high, is very good. His power is the thing. He's got a 60 rated power tool, which is very high. It means he hits a lot of home runs. A couple of years ago in the minor leagues, he's hit 30 home runs in the minor leagues. He's 25 years old. He will be 26 in November. So he's an older prospect. So he might not have, and he was the first round pick for the 2019 draft, 31st overall for the Dodgers. So he's been in their organization for about 4 years. So he's a college player. He's a left-handed bat. So the Mets are going to have to figure out, the Dodgers have to figure out what his future is with them. Because obviously, he can't play really second because they got Mookie Betts playing here and there and everywhere. His future, though, according to MLB.com, is first base. But right now, he can play second. He can play a little bit of the outfield. He's got big power. That's a guy that the Mets should look at. He's the number 2 best prospect in their organization. The next guy up that I would mention is Gavin Stone. He's a right-handed pitcher, and he's pitching in the major leagues. The pitchers that the Dodgers have, the top guys, have big-time major league stuff. Now, with Stone, his big pitch is his changeup. He has a very dominating changeup. It's a 70 rank. 80 is considered elite, generational. His is 70, which is very high. I've only seen 70 in one player going through these numbers, and that's with Francisco Alvarez's power. So the fact he is considered, Gavin Stone, a middle rotation piece. So he would be like a number 3 starter on the Mets, I would think, or on any team. So that's pretty good. For a 40-year-old pitcher, that's not bad. The next guy you keep an eye on, it's another guy that's been to the major leagues with the Dodgers this year, has been the 6th best prospect. I mentioned Gavin Stone's the 4th best prospect. Emmett Sheehan is the 6th best prospect in the Dodgers organization. He has a fastball of 65 out of 80. So he throws hard. His issue is his command. He's a right-handed pitcher. The 2 pitchers I'm discussing are right-handed. Emmett Sheehan is a right-handed pitcher, goes about up to 99 miles per hour. He's a mid-rotation guy. But his biggest thing is his command. And he needs to work on his curveball. So, does very hard. He's got a changeup of a 60. So he does very hard. I'll tell you, the guys, just going through their list, the Dodgers have guys that throw very hard at the upper levels here of their prospects. At number 5, the 5th best prospect in the Dodgers organization, his name is Andy Pages. Hope I'm saying his name right. He is an outfielder. He's probably going to be a right fielder. So he is a big prospect. His hit tool is about a 45, which is slightly about average, his hit tool. But his power is 60. He's a light tower power bat. Defensively, he's good defensively, but he has a great throwing arm. His future is in right field. And he's a right-handed hitter. We mentioned about Michael Busch, if I didn't say, he's a left-handed bat. So these are the 4 guys the Mets should target at the trading deadline before we get to 6 p.m. tomorrow. The top prospects, if you want to know, in the Dodgers organization that are in between these guys, is Diego Cartaglia, who's a catcher. Mets don't need a catcher. And Dalton Rushing, who's another catcher. Again, Mets don't need a catcher. You know, the Mets have Alvarez and they have Parada and some other younger guys in their farm system. But the Mets now, they're in the driver's seat with a lot of these teams because the Padres aren't selling and the Cubs aren't selling right now. And I would mention 10 teams are off on Monday. The Mets are one of those teams that are off. The Dodgers are one of these teams that are off. So, just keep in mind as we go further, today in particular, there might be some movement today. Just keep that in mind. So we'll see how this works. I hope that the Mets are able to trade Verlander. I want to see the Mets be great over the course of 5 to 10 years. The only way you can do that is to have a very strong farm system. The farm system, when Cohen took over, was really bad. Even though they had some top-notch talent, like Alvarez and Beatty and Vientos and Mauricio in the system, they need a lot of help. They need pitching help, and they need something that is sort of forgotten. They need some outfielders. Mets need good outfielders. The number one prospect they have as an outfielder is Alex Ramirez, and he took a step back this year. He's gotten taken off of top 100 prospect lists, so he is taking a step back. Hopefully he's able to take a step forward with the last 2 months and obviously in the offseason if he goes to winter ball. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Also subscribe to the Prospect Hut, which I have a lot of material on there. I have material on the top 30 prospects already. It's all on there. I have very much soon I'll be finished with the 20 of the 23 players that they drafted in this year's draft. I have profiles on all of them except for, I think, 2 that I haven't done yet. So you want to go in there and watch those videos, and I'll have different videos on certain players and on the Mets, just in general in terms of the farm system. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut, and I'll see you later.